And welcome again to Cottage Talk. I am Russ Goldman. In this episode, I'm going to be previewing the upcoming match on Monday night for Fulham against Chelsea, a West London derby at Craven Cottage. I look forward to this match. I look forward to sharing my 5 keys to victory for Fulham on this Monday night. It should be a very interesting match. As always, please do subscribe on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. It does help other Fulham supporters find us. Okay, let's get going. And let's start with number 5. And I think this is an obvious one, but especially against a team like Chelsea. And I know how pivotal it was the last time the teams played last season at Craven Cottage, and that was scoring the first goal. And that was with Willian. And I think it's very important for Fulham to score the first goal. Listen, a lot is going wrong right now with Chelsea. I'm sure they will come good at some point. But Fulham certainly need to keep the pressure on them by scoring that opening goal. Make them uncomfortable and get that goal. Make Craven Cottage a fortress. If they score the first goal, Fulham have all chances not to just get something out of this match, but be the prohibitive favorite to win the match. And I think the first goal in this match is pivotal, just like it was last season. So I think it's important. We'll see if Fulham can get that first goal. I'm not convinced that Fulham right now are built to play from behind. I think they have to play from front because of the lack of goals. Until they can figure that out, I think it's important to get that first goal. It's always important, but I think very much so in this match against Chelsea. Number 4, and I think, again, this is a common thing with Fulham, but I think Fulham are at their best when their fullbacks are at their best. But the fullbacks need to play a major role in this and be the complete two-way players in this match. So my number 4 is the fullbacks need to be active two-way players, not just going forward, but defending. And as you've seen, right now, I think Florida Bellatori made a nice debut, but I expect Anthony Robinson to be back. On the right-hand side, do not know if Kenny Tete will be back, but if not, you have Castagna. Whoever are the two fullbacks, I expect them to be bombing forward, but also to be getting back to help defensively, because Marco really stresses, you can tell the way that he plays, that he wants an aggressive fullback, but he knows that they also have a need for their defensive ability. So it is a two-way situation. One good thing I will say about Jedi is I think he has really come a long way defensively. Think he really has. And I think that's why he's brought his game to the next level. It's not going forward. I think that his crossing has gotten better, but for me, it's the defensive part of the game that I think he has really improved on. And I think Fulham have really needed that. So for me, he has to be big in this match. Now, I know Kenny Tete can be a good two-way player. I think he's better defensively than he is going forward. But if he cannot go, I truly have no problem with Timothy Castagna. And what's great about him is I actually think he's better going forward than potentially Tete. And dare I say, he might be your right back for years to come if Kenny Tete does not come back to Fulham next season. And I think Fulham would be in good shape with Castagna. They have a good problem to have two quality right backs. And I think in this match against Chelsea, he or Tete are going to play a vital role going forward, but defensively as well. I think they have a huge role on their shoulders. So I just want to mention that. Two-way players for the fullbacks. That's my number 4. Number 3 is an obvious one, but it's something that needs to be talked about. Paulinho needs to dominate in central midfield. Now, what's interesting here is he will be going up against a central midfield with some very expensive central midfielders. Look at Moises Caicedo. Are you telling me Moises Caicedo is a better player? So talking about Enzo and Moises Caicedo, do you think these are better central midfielders than João Paulinho? I don't see it that way. And I think Paulinho is going to dominate in central midfield against these players. That to me is going to be key in this match. He needs to be dominant, and he has been in several occasions. I expect him to come out of this match as telling everyone, I'm the better central midfielder. I'm better than Caicedo. And we'll see if I'm right. But I think he is vital in this match, not just protecting that back four, but really clogging up what Chelsea want to do. So for me, Paulinho is number 3. Paulinho needs to dominate in central midfield. Number 2, and this is an interesting one for me, Marco needs to win the coaching battle. Now, I've had this as one of my keys in other matches, but I think it's important here. Pochettino, as we know, is a first-rate manager. First-rate, world-class manager. I actually think Marco could be a world-class manager as well. But what I mean is he needs to pull all the right levers in this match. I think Fulham will have a situation where they're going to need to make the right substitution. Can he make the right substitution at the right time? Marco's been a little bit late, I think, with some of his substitutions. I think against a team like Chelsea, he needs to time it right, meaning I would venture, if you're going to make a substitution around the 60th minute, I think is a good time to do it. He tends to sometimes go a little bit later than that. I understand believing in your players, but if things aren't going right, you need to change the game. I think you need to make that substitutions at the right time. It'll also be setting Fulham up to succeed with the right starting 11. He needs to win this coaching battle, and if for some reason Pochettino shows him something that he's not ready for, he needs to adjust. He needs to win the coaching battle. I think that's vital in this match for Fulham against Chelsea. Coming up next is my number 1 key to victory, followed by my starting 11 and my prediction for this match. Okay, my number 1 key to victory is this. And I know he has not scored a goal, but for me, this is vital in this match. Number 1, Raul Jimenez needs to be involved early and often. I've had this before. I think it's very important. I truly believe if he can get that first goal, if Jimenez can score that first goal, he is going to kick on and score several goals. But it's not even just about scoring the goal. It's getting him involved. It's the belief from his teammates that he feels that they're behind him. So get him involved early. Get the balls to him. Show that you believe in him. Because here's a player that at one point I thought was world-class. I was talking on another podcast that there was potential for him to go to a top club, a real top club. And unfortunately, the injury happened to him, and that situation never materialized. But he was on that path. He is that type of striker. If he gets that goal, I think he could get back to that form before the injury. I could be wrong on this, but I believe that Raul Jimenez can still be that top flight striker. I believe you don't become a bad player overnight. You just don't. I just think that the injury has been an issue with him. But I think if his players get him involved, he gets that goal, I think everything's going to start flowing for Jimenez. I truly believe that. So for me, I think it's key in this match, but I also think it's key in the season. Please get the ball to Raul Jimenez. I think he's doing a lot of good work in these matches. I think he's working very hard. And it's funny because I remember how down everyone was with Bobby Zamora early in his Fulham career. And he did not score many goals his first season. And Roy Hodgson said he was doing a very good job for Fulham Football Club. He would know better than us, honestly. And then the next season, the goals started to come. Sometimes you just need to get some goals underneath you and everything will flow. I think that's what's going to happen with Raul Jimenez. Get the ball to him and let's see everything flow. That's my number 1 key to victory. Okay, now I'm going to my starting 11 for this match for Fulham against Chelsea. I'm going to go with Bernd Leno in net. I am going to say Timothy Castagna will be your right back. I'm not sure if Kenny Tete is ready to come back. So I'm going with Castagna. This is what I think Marco's going to do. Left back, I'll go with Jedi. Your center back pairing, I'm going to disagree with this, but I think Marco will go with Tim Ream and Issa Diop. I would go with Calvin Bassey and Issa Diop. In the middle, I think it picks itself. It's going to be starting with Paulinho, Reed, and Andres Pereira. I know there's talk about maybe Alex Iwobi should play the Pereira role. I'm not against it, but I think this is what Marco's going to do. On the left, Willian. On the right, I'm going to say Bobby Decordova-Reid. Up front, Raul Jimenez. That's my starting 11, and I think it's good enough to beat Chelsea. That's what I think. Okay. To end this episode, I'm going to give you my prediction for this match for Fulham. Now, it's not often you go into a match thinking, well, Fulham should beat Chelsea, right? Chelsea are down. They are coming off of a victory in the Carabao Cup, so they're probably feeling a little bit better going into this match. However, they're dealing with some suspensions, many injuries. The suspensions, I think, really hurt them. So I think that's going to be a factor. You're talking two significant players, Jackson and Gusto, are out for this match. That hurts them. Chilwell being out of this match hurts them. And they have other injuries as well. And they're struggling to score goals. So all of this adds up to Fulham going back-to-back victories against Chelsea at Craven Cottage. I'm going 1-0 and a goal to Raul Jimenez for a Fulham victory. A goal in the first half, and they hold on to get all 3 points. I'm going with a Fulham victory against Chelsea. Let's see if I'm right or if I'm wrong. As always, please do subscribe on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. It does help other Fulham supporters find us. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. My name's Russ Goldman. Thank you as always for watching and listening to Cottage Talk, part of the talkSPORT Fan Network.